What's going on, guys? It's Mago here. Like I promised, this is day one of Swift Academy training. We just got in, it's 4 o'clock. So I'm gonna go over what we discussed today. I actually took some notes. First of all, the class was a total of 12 people. One guy, I believe, got stopped at the door because he either came like hours really late, or for some reason he got stopped at the door and wasn't allowed to come in. He had to go home. Maybe he didn't have all the paperwork, because they were talking about some guy didn't have his permit or something. They stressed you're supposed to have it at this location, which is in we're stationed at Inner Grove Heights in Minnesota, and then the hotel we're staying at is Days Inn in Eagan. And make sure you double check your paperwork, because we were scheduled for extended stay in Eagan, which had very bad reviews. I saw a lot of comments that they had bed bugs and a whole bunch of crackheads pretty much around there and this and that. So long story short, we found out why they got switched over. Basically, we got switched from extended stay to Days Inn because they no longer had a shuttle service over there. So in Eagan, Minnesota, we are in Days Inn. I'm the only female out here on this go around, so luckily I got my own room. One of the guys I rode with today, his roommate never showed. So okay, so we started off with 12. One guy got sent home at the door. Another guy got sent home like 15 minutes after the class started because his dispatcher sent him out there for the third time and he wasn't even supposed to be coming out there. And then also his license he only had for 7 months, so I'm guessing he had a license before if this was his third time out there. Excuse me. One guy walked and it almost made everybody walk, or thought about walking at some point. The ones that really needed the license and was like, screw it, this is for my family and this is what I need to better my future, stayed. And I'm gonna tell you why. Okay, the reason is nobody in my class was told by any recruiters, wasn't in no paperwork or nothing. The station out here is they only train you and you take your test in automatic. So that means when you get your license, you're going to have a restriction on there where you can only drive automatic trucks. And then what they said was that a lot of the industries are converting to automatics, and manuals is going to just be gone unless you've got a really old truck. So that being said, just kind of makes it hard right now to get a job unless you go to one of these big companies. Like me, I'm from North Dakota. We didn't have a Swift training or any company. We have companies out there, but they act like they don't know how to answer their phone. So anyways, and they didn't get back to nobody. Okay, so one person walked. I already talked about the guy with the 7-month license, blah, blah, blah. Now, they didn't tell us when we got on the computer that that is an actual test, and it's a English assessment test. We didn't know it was a test, but anyways, it's super easy. Super easy. Let me tell you. You get on the computer, you log in, you type in your address, you make you have to make like a code or something, I think it was. But anyway, so you go in there, you press start, and it's easy, guys. I'm telling you, it's easy. If you know English and you know how to read, it's like, okay, just picture this, right? Here's a truck. You log on there, it's gonna say, click on the, let me see. It's gonna say, click on the left. I just looked at that. I'm dumb. Hold on, that's left. Yeah, you're gonna click on it. It's gonna say click on the left passenger mirror. So what you do is you take your little mouse, you go up, drive it up, it will turn purple. And if you go up too far, this little sun visor thing or these lights up here will turn purple. Make sure you select what it's saying. So turn purple to make sure you lit up the right one, and you click on it. Left, passenger. This passenger? Yeah, this passenger one, because the driver is not in the video, in the picture. Or it would say click on the front bumper. All this right here will turn purple. Click it. There's two parts to the test. There's the picture test where it tells you to do that, and then it comes into after you pass that, which it doesn't tell you pass or not, it just says continue, and then once you finish that session, it goes into another session. Oh, excuse me. We haven't ate all day. Well, we had pizza today. We'll get into that later. The next one, it reads it to you. They'll give you earplugs. They'll read it to you, and then also at the bottom be a little gray box, and it has an arrow. You can scroll up and read it again once the auto thing is done. But it gives you the answer. Just take your time. It gives you the answer. They'll highlight certain boxes for each section. Like mainly, it was like on all of them, it was like ask what the total amount miles per trip for that trip. It tells you in your ear while you're listening, but it also tells you at the bottom too. It literally says total miles was 508. So where it says up top, it says total miles, right? 508, and it's crystal clear. If you can't pass this, you're going home. If you you can't really speak English well, please practice, because all three of our guys that went home from this, I understood them in the class, but they had good English. But if you can't understand English well, they got sent home. So started off with 12, ended up with 6 at the end of the day, at the first day. Now, let's see here. Lunch. They do provide lunch today. It's the only day they provide lunch. I was grateful for the food they provided, which was pizza, and it was from Old World's Pizza or something like that. It wasn't really for me. I only ate about 3 slices. There was just too much cheese, and I didn't like, it's like Sammy's Pizza in a way. You know how they cut it all funky and stuff? I like mine in big triangles. So anyways, I was grateful. I ate it because I was hungry. Like I said, I was grateful. More stuff. I got it written down. You do sign paperwork today. You sign for this book, which is a study book. This is where you do the open book test. You don't get to keep these. Don't write in these. Well, technically you can keep them. You can write in them, but you will have to pay $50 for the book. You don't want to pay for the book. You don't want to keep the book. Don't mess it up. Let's see. This is the Swift driving guide. It's really helpful. While I got this out, I'm gonna show y'all something. Oh my, the trainer, man, the trainer dude is amazing. He's some cool people. Like, we was laughing in his class, yo. This is our schedule. Since there was a confusion, make sure there's nothing on here that's supposed to be. This is our schedule. Is basically, there we go. So you basically are here Monday through Friday. I know there's people on the internet saying you go to class 6 days for the first week you're out here, and then it's 5 days after that. It's Monday through Friday. You have Saturday, Sunday off. What was false on the internet, though, that they were saying is that you would do like 1 or 2 days of classwork. No, you don't. You will be in the class the whole week, no matter what. You'll be in the class the whole week. This location, I don't know if I said it before, but I think I did, but this location does not accept people who do not have their permit yet in this location. You have to have your permit. The other thing that they were really, really, really upset about, which they didn't say, but you could clearly tell just by how frustrated and red their faces got. So at the time there was, I think, 11 of us, and 7 of them had to go and get the DOT up here. They were really upset about that because the 2 or 3 that had to stay back, which was me and like 1 or 2 other guys, had to sit there. We couldn't continue with class. We had to sit there for almost 3 hours, I want to say, because I think they left a little bit before 10, and they got back either a little bit before 12 or a little after 12. They might have left around 9 though, but I wasn't really looking at the time. So there's that. There's something else. Oh, I want to show you guys this in this book too. If I can find the page. The money section about what you owe. Here it is. Okay, here it is. Well, there's two different sections. Here's the loan amount. So total is $6,000, okay? But if you need room and board like me, it's gonna be $6,750 to pay for the hotel. Now, it looks like they have two options of the terms. You can do $80 weekly for 52 weeks, or you can do $40 weekly for 104 weeks. I'm gonna do the 40 weekly, which is the bottom one. So that's gonna come up to $150 a month. Now, this is if you decide to leave early, and if you make it past a certain amount of days, like 3 days, if it's 0 to 3 days, you don't owe any money if you decide to walk. But after the third day, you have to you pay it back, the amount. So basically that's what this is. So as you see here, 1 to 3 days you'll owe. Let's see if I can back it up some. There you go. Hopefully it focuses. So it explains all that right there. There's a section in here where it tells you the class number, which is where I got mine to fill out most of my paperwork, because it asked you for that, and it wasn't written on the board, and the rest of the members didn't find out until they asked the instructor at the end. But I'm the type that went over the paperwork when we were just sitting around. So this is where your class number is, which is over here. And basically what you find out what class you are is you look at the day you start the class. So we are the 174 class. Come on, focus. Focus, focus, focus. It's not gonna focus, huh? 174 class. I think it is. I'm reading it right backwards. It's right here. Is that 174? Yeah, because we started on 4/29 and we will end on 5/17. Okay, so I covered that. I'm just trying to cover stuff that the internet didn't cover when I was looking for information on the school. This is a great school so far. My opinion, like I said, the instructors are really nice. What about that? You sign a paperwork about rules and rules of the road and the range. You'll sign a paper about that. It explains what you cannot do, which is common sense. Like one of them was like, laying on the range ground is prohibited, like the training range where there's cones and if someone's trying to back up, like it's prohibited. Before you come down, if you don't have the long form, every state looks a little different. You have to have the long form is basically you have to have the one with multiple papers, because everybody's is different, but you have to have a thing of multiple papers. You usually have 5 or more papers that you'll get back from whatever doctor you went to go see. If you don't have that and you just have the one that goes in your wallet, they won't accept it. You have to go down and do a DOT while you're down here. This is the academy policy. That's not one we had to sign, so y'all ain't gotta worry about that. Here's the one I was just talking about. The rules of the road and the range. What you'll do is you read over them. Your initial and your initial again. and you'll acknowledge that you got this, and you'll sign. I actually asked for a copy of this. I turned my signed one in and asked for a copy just for you guys so I can make a video for you guys. They do get, which what shocked me, because I hated doing this part of my permit, they do give you another general knowledge test. It's the same exact questions we take on the permit, for the permit. My guy in South Dakota, my classmate in South Dakota, he didn't have the bus questions on his when he took his CDL, but on mine in North Dakota, they did give me the bus questions. So he didn't know the answers to that, which for a team, we all help each other out. That's what they stress. We're a team. Nobody's getting left behind. Help each other out. This is open book, which is this. I luckily brought my paperwork that I studied with at home, which has what my correct answers were on when I went to get my permit. So I'm going to look over that because a lot of my answers from here are on there. So I'm just going to double check it like that. Pretty simple stuff, guys. Classroom schedule. They give you the classroom schedule. Day one. This is what you do on day one out here. Okay. Class, you do get homework. Classes start at 6 o'clock sharp. Everybody today was late. Everybody was late. We didn't know that it takes 20 minutes to get there. We took the shuttle. So we now know that we got to get on the 5 o'clock shuttle, because they don't do the half hour shuttle here. They do on the hour. So now we got to get up and do the 5 o'clock shuttle so we can be there on time. He actually wants us there early. That's how I was raised too. When you go to a job, you get there early. It's just like a little military thing. I grew up, my dad taught me that, or whatever. My mom taught me that. Being on time is late, and being early is on time. And that's what they go by here. The first week, regardless, you're going to be in the class from what he said. We learned the logbook at the very end of our what's that shit called? I mean, stuff. I don't know, road logbook or whatever. We did an example one like 15 minutes before the class start. We're gonna do it every day. We won't go out to the range or anything until next week. Everybody's gonna be in the class this week. They are getting, what are those things called? Simulator. They're getting 2 simulators. I might be saying it wrong. Simulators. We're getting them in this Thursday. So we're going to be the first class to actually sit in one of those machines. They look like a freaking arcade machine. It's like monitors, and the steering wheel and the clutch and all that. We're going to be the first class to actually be able to test that out. So I'm kind of stoked about that. I think I already went over. They don't train you. They only train on, they only train on automatics. Only a week. Days 11 and 12. This is what tells you what's going to happen on those days. So days 11 and 12, pre-trip evaluations, basic skill evaluations, road tests. Now, the guy that we have, he says that if you show enough initiative and you're not thinking around and wasting his time or whatever, and you're showing that you're serious, he will try to stay with you as long as you can. But he's like, don't expect to be out here for like 6 weeks, and if you still can't pass the evaluation part. So he said he's going to do everything in his power to help everybody in the rest that are remaining pass the class. Now, we won't know until Wednesday or Thursday if anybody else is going to be leaving, because we all did the P test today. He said he won't get that back for about 3 days. So if that comes back negative, we're going to be losing more people. But so far we only got 6 people remaining. I did my DOT back home. They didn't do a hair test back home, so I thought I was going to have to do one up here. They didn't do one because they said all my paperwork was correct and accurate. So back home I had to pay $95. I think it was it was $95. One of the guys up here, I think they only got charged. I don't even think he got charged because they said Swift was going to be paying for it. So I don't know. Swift was supposed to pay for it from what we were told before they left the class. You're going to sign a paper that is, I don't have it with me. I'm just looking for a pen so I can mark off what I already talked about. You're going to sign a paper that is basically just saying that Swift is going to be taking pictures of you. It's not a paper saying you give consent to Swift to take pictures, because that's not it. You're just signing saying you were told that this might happen. So they might take pictures of you for training purposes or to use you as an example in a future training thing. So that's what you're going to sign. It's not that big of a deal to me. It might be a big deal to someone else. You're going to sign a paper saying that you will take a drug test and that Swift Academy requires a drug test, or basically you're going home. You want to refuse to do it. Dismiss. I think that's that one I had to turn in, I believe. Yeah, I don't have it. There's one called dismissal and reentry policy. It's basically saying your first probation tardiness, your second tardiness, your third tardiness, what will happen in each thing. Basically, if your third tardiness, you'll basically get sent home. Anything after that, if they still decide to keep you around after third tardiness, if there's like a fourth or fifth one, you get sent home and you have to wait a 60-day period before you can reapply to come back to Swift Academy. And you would have to start everything all over, including the DOT and the drug test, student verification form. That all it's doing is asking for where you live, your address, name, phone number, email, just to verify that you are who you say you are, and the stuff you submitted prior to coming here is the matching up to what you wrote down now. So we did that one. You sign and receive. You sign a paperwork saying you received this, the catalog. You get one. You sign one saying you. I wrote that twice. That's the same thing. We went over this book. Academy attendance policy. That is basically saying, what was it saying? It's basically like kind of like the dismissal and thing. You have to be a class. If you were to call out, you need to let your instructor know prior to time. If you miss so many days, you'll send home. And if you are after that 3-day mark and then you get sent home, it is your responsibility to pay the tuition, what you owe. And it's either in this one or it's in that dismissal policy. Like if you go MIA or after like the 4th or 5th time, or you are late to whatever, it is not on Swift to find you a way home. It's on you to find yourself home. So definitely read the stuff when you're up here. I already showed you the schedule. The open book general knowledge, which I already showed you guys. Classroom guidelines, which is right here. First one is being on time. Teamwork, smoking in designated smoke areas, be alert, no sleeping, common sense stuff. Safety first, be prepared for class, blah, 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 blah. Whoops. Basically, come on, focus. Okay, I'll just read the rest. Be prepared for class. Be prepared for class. No cell phones in the class. They don't play about that. When you walk in the door, they got a cell phone case or a little thing there, a little tote. You have to put your cell phone in. You got to put it on silent and put it in there. So there is no way we'll be able to get videos on the range or in the classroom. That's not going to happen. There's no way you're going to try. Even if you try to sneak your phone out there on the range, you're not going to get no videos because they got people watching. And I mean, you could try. If you got the Waygos to do that, I mean, you can try to do that. I'm not taking a chance because, like I said, I got a lot riding on being here. Okay, the other one is proper hygiene and appearance, respect for others, quiet while testing. All questions are welcome. No questions are stupid or dumb. Honesty, integrity, courtesy, patience. It will take self-discipline and one person speaks at a time. Common sense. You don't want to overtalk people. It's just common sense stuff. And I think that's it. Oh, pre-enrollment. Pre-enrollment is another sheet you'll sign. It just states that you received all the books, paperwork, and discussed of the book prices if you want to buy it, or if you write in it or damage it in any way. Basically, even if you didn't want to buy it, you are now paying $50 for it. So you write, and we'll take. We already discussed that. Has to write and we'll take pictures. Oh, there's a voluntary invitation to identify. I signed and dated that. I did not. I signed, dated that, and put my social at the top, but I did not fill out the other parts because I don't want to do that. It's basically saying you have the right to let them know what your race is and what. I don't think it asks for sex. It just asks for what race. I'm biracial. They didn't have a spot where it said other, so I'm not going to mark 2 or more spots. So I didn't fill it out. It's voluntary. You have the right to not fill it out. You just sign and date it and put your social security on the top. And then the last one is disclosure of what the heck did I write? Is transferability of credits. Some people, I guess, came in the past and thought they can come to school for a little bit and then go to a different school and get whatever they did here, like the credits, transfer to a new school. No, you can't do that. They don't really count these as, I guess, credit in some form from what they said. So that's that. That's all for day 1. So a lot of paperwork. I'll bring a driving log book home. Tomorrow I was going to bring it tonight, but I had too much stuff in my hands already. We're going to be going over that every day. There's something else I wanted to say. I done forgot now. I'm going to go over that every day. We are 28 minutes away from the school, or about 25. I'm going to personally run to the store here pretty soon because I drove up. I want to get some salads or something because I don't want to just eat noodles this whole week and for the next 3 weeks. Walmart is 20 minutes when I Googled it. I Googled Dollar Tree, and that's about 22 miles away. So I'm like, I ain't trying to travel 22 miles. So I'm going to have to travel, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Remember, take your time on the assessment test, the English assessment test. You have to be able to convert what you hear and what you see and then what you write. It's easy though. Just if you're not that good with understanding English, just take your time, turn around, ask the instructor if you don't understand the word. He's a really good guy. He will help you pronounce it. We had one guy in there, actually, he was reading, we all had to read out a book at one section or whatever, and he was stumbling on the word someday. So nobody laughed. Nope, everybody's patient. Put yourself in their shoes. If you're not from here and you are trying to learn English, be respectful of other people. Tomorrow, contract. That's what I want to talk about. There is some kind of contract, but I don't know what it is yet because we're getting handed the contracts tomorrow. It's not just one contract, I guess. And maybe it is, but he said contracts with an S. So I will find out tomorrow. I will read everything before I sign it like usual, and I will give y'all the update tomorrow on that. We go to class 6 in the morning to 4, or 6 to 4 p.m. Excuse me. So around this time, about 4:30, 5 o'clock, I'll be making the video for day 2 and explaining what all contracts we're gonna have to sign tomorrow. So that's day 1, guys. I hope it kind of helps you out, and I'm gonna post the one from yesterday from when I got here. I'm gonna sound like I'm out of breath because I was out of breath because I drove 8 hours to get here, and I had a lot of luggage I had to carry up. So I wanted to be comfortable my 3 weeks away. So I brought my own towels and my own bedding. Well, like I said, we were supposed to be staying in extended stay, and there was lots of reviews saying they had bed bugs. So I went out and bought a mattress protector, pillow protector, because I was like, I ain't getting no bed bugs on me and taking it back to my home. So I didn't have to use my mattress protector or pillow protector here because it's not extended stay. I am not a recruiter or anything. Swift is not asking me to make this video. Extended stay did look kind of decent though. Like I said, I don't know if it's true or not, but there was multiple reviews that it was a bad location and that there was bed bugs, and the only reason we got switched pretty much was because I don't know if they had a shuttle service before or if they didn't. They never had one, but that's the reason he switched everybody to this hotel, is because they didn't have a shuttle service. So stay tuned tomorrow, and I'm going to post the one from yesterday so you guys can see kind of the room. So yeah, hope they help. See you tomorrow.